Straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost. It's a very, very special edition that we're bringing to you today. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. It's a super Sunday here and a very special show awaits you. We're building up to the big clash. And as we always promise, I'm getting you every angle possible to this mega event that's coming over all across the world from USA. From a special interview setting up the big battle and telling us about the key mini battles to watch out for, to the plight of the true cricket fan. What is the reason for an India-Pakistan encounter to not be a full house? To security measures that will be in place today, almost seeming like Fort Nassau, and much, much more. Stay on for this special build-up right here on Firstpost and Firstpost. But first, a peek into the headlines in Sports 360. Starting with cricket and the T20 World Cup, Australia beat defending champions England by 36 runs in a Group B match earlier today. Put into bat first, Australia posted 201. In response, England were restricted to 165. Adam Zampa picked up 2 for 28 and Pat Cummins returned with figures of 2 for 23. In another match, co-host West Indies beat debutants Uganda. They did that by a whopping 134 runs. Batting first, West Indies posted 173. In response, Uganda were bowled out for just 39 runs in 12 overs. Akeal Hossain picked a fifer and Alzari Joseph bagged 2 wickets. Over in tennis and the French Open, Iga Swiatek has been crowned champion for a third successive time at the French Open. Swiatek eased past Jasmine Paolini 6-2, 6-1, straight sets, demolition there. Swiatek with this has become the first woman since Serena Williams to win all 3 clay tournaments, Grand Slam events in a single year. Madrid, Rome and French Open was last won by Serena in 2013. Over in football, Spain showed their class against Northern Ireland in a friendly. Pedri scored twice in Spain's 5-1 victory in the Euros warm-up. And in South America, Brazil scored victory in stoppage time over Mexico in a friendly too. Brazil's Endrick scored the winner 6 minutes into stoppage time as Mexico were beaten. And over in Formula One, Mercedes' George Russell has taken pole position for the Canadian Grand Prix. Russell beat Red Bull's Max Verstappen, who finished in the same time but will still start in second place. McLaren's Lando Norris was just 0.21 seconds adrift to take third position on the grid. Yes, it's here, the day every cricket fan in the world over is forced to focus on. Everyone is pulled into the action, even if they wouldn't have the time or want to. It's India versus Pakistan. You can't really ignore this one. It's the big clash and the biggest match in this T20 World Cup tournament. It's not a World Cup final, but it could be a knockout game because for Pakistan, it's a must-win after their nail-biting loss to USA. Now, how are the two teams shaping up ahead of this one? India is sitting comfortably after a win over Ireland in their opening encounter. Skipper Rohit Sharma had a bit of a scare during training. He got hit but seems to be fine and well on course for the big one today. Pakistan's biggest challenge will be to overcome the nerves. We've never seen them flounder and panic as much as they did against USA in their opening game. The team took a whole 9 minutes to decide who would go into bat in the super over, even as Saurabh Netravalkar waited at the start of his run-up, ready to charge in. And everyone's eyes bored in at the Pakistan dugout that just couldn't decide. So the tension in the camp was evident and it will be monumental today. But from what we are seeing through pictures as well as reports and hearing from friends covering the game, it doesn't seem like New York is really buzzing about this one. Firstly, the location itself. Nassau is not exactly in the heart of New York City. It's New York region. It's a fair distance. And for the bus to really catch up there on a Sunday early morning in USA may be asking for a bit too much. Then, of course, there is security concerns that are transforming this area into a high voltage zone. More details on that a little later on the show. I got emails stating that there is just one way to enter and still get into the stadium in time for the match, and which is only if journalists or anyone covering the game came in a car with a vehicle pass. And if you do not have that, then be prepared to walk a fair bit to reach the stadium and the ground. The tension is palpable. This feels like a weird encounter in some way, though. India and Pakistan have always had epic clashes. Somehow, this one feels a little one-sided. Even as we head into it, the pitch is still in focus. Rohit Sharma at the press conference again reiterated that he was still uncertain over the way the track will behave today. The disappointment very evident, which makes toss so much more crucial. Then there is Pakistan. Can they shake off the term Panikistan that they gained from that first match and draw inspiration from their predecessors to stage a comeback that will be celebrated and remembered for ages? All right, an India-Pakistan cricket match traditionally means a full house, whether at the stadiums or at your homes or screening centers. It's utter mayhem. The stadium is jam-packed and a neutral venue more so. It means equally loud fans from both countries. But this T20 World Cup encounter in New York could have not few, but many empty seats at the Nassau Stadium. And that's a real shame. Because cricket fans wait for years for an India-Pakistan face-off. With no bilateral ties cut off a while back and no opportunity really for the two of the biggest cricketing rivals to face off in, it's these World Cups that provide that respite, that opportunity for the die-hard cricket fan out there, that's you guys, to get in on the action. So then why is Nassau going empty? It's the ticket pricing, of course. It's skyrocketed to match the skyscrapers New York is symbolized by, like the Empire State Building. Let me show you. Here is what you need to pay if you want to watch India take on USA. Those are the prices there. Of course, that game is later. It's on 12th June. The highest price ticket is somewhere way below. This is, of course, one of the lower price tickets. You've got a few more clubs there. That's the Corner Club stand. Then you have Premium Lounge. But the highest one is more than this. It's $7,500 US. And even if you look at a few of the other stands that you're seeing here, it's all still around the $1,000 mark. There are quite a few sections in the stadium that's priced this way, which is 83,000 Indian rupees, nearly 90,000 INR for India taking on USA. Now, I know USA is proved to be a very good side, but the pricing is astounding. Now comes the best part, because I'm going to show you the rates for the highly anticipated big matchup today, which is India versus Pakistan. The minimum pricing for this is $300 US. That's still 25,000 Indian rupees. Okay. And then there are other sections too here, which is ranging between anywhere from $1,750 US and $2,750 US. That's a little more than half of the monthly salary of the average citizen working in USA. So that's anywhere between 1,46,000 Indian rupees going up to as much as 2,30,000 INR. That range could cost anywhere from 7 to 11 months' salary of an average worker in India. Let that sink in. Let me now take you to the most shocking part. An entire section of around 300 seats. A whole suite is priced at, hold on to your wallets and your heart rate, $10,000 US. That's the price you have to pay to watch this India-Pakistan match. $10,000 US, that's nearly 8.5 lakh Indian rupees. If outrageous could have another meaning, this would be it. So let me give you some comparisons to understand how steep this really is for a true Indian cricket fan. I'm comparing ticket prices of the biggest sporting events in USA to the India-Pakistan game. So how this works is that the bigger the game, the more the money for the price, obviously. So in the MLB, which is the Major League Baseball, Los Angeles Dodgers always have big ticketing, big draws. Even so, the most expensive ticket for a Dodgers game, reportedly, is anywhere in the range of $300 to $400 US. NBA is bigger money, and there too, it's about which teams are playing. Reports say that last year, the Golden State Warriors' average ticket price, which was the highest among all other teams, was $612 US. the difference still is massive. So I thought, okay, let's get in the Super Bowl, though that is an unfair comparison, as that is equivalent to a World Cup final, where the best two teams clash. It's a final. Even so, the average ticketing cost for a Super Bowl in recent years is reportedly $8,600 US. This is the average, as there are a few sections higher than this and a few lower. The most expensive ticket in the India-Pakistan affair, which, yes, gives you some perks, of course. It comes with unlimited food, you've got alcohol, and a perfect view of the stadium. But let me tell you what $10,000 US can get you in USA. It'll get you a decent car. You could go on a family vacation of 4 for some days, which includes flights, accommodation, food, and a few other activities, all inclusive. For $10,000 US, you have flight tickets around the world, multiple cities across the world and back. You could even run for office in a small state legislature like Montana or Vermont with that money. But jokes apart, for an Indian fan, 9 lakh rupees is massive. You can pay rent living in the capital city here in Delhi in a 1-bedroom apartment for close to 2 years. And I'm taking into account inflation. And here's the latest. There are popular reselling websites in USA who are indulging in hoarding and reselling big ticket events at an exorbitant price. Here's what that says. So the site is SeatGeek. It's popular. The India-Pakistan match ticket is selling here for a whopping, hold on to your horses, $175,000 US. And then there is, of course, the additional fee of $50,000 US that you have to pay to the agency to procure this. Want to know what that amounts to in Indian currency? It's close to 2 crore rupees. That amounts to owning a decent, smallish apartment in the country's costliest city, Mumbai. And let me shock you further. The most expensive ticket on the same website, SeatGeek, for last-minute tickets to the previous Super Bowl that happened some months back, the famous Taylor Swift one, was $45,000 US. Massive difference. The India-Pakistan one is nearly 4 times the Super Bowl ticket on SeatGeek. Is this fair on the cricket fan? Or were these designed for the rich American sports lovers, just as a money-making proposition? If so, isn't the true cricket fan missing out here? Cricket is a sport India dominates. It is played in the streets and open grounds here in the country. It isn't a sport for the elite. It's not a rich man's sport. Cricket never was. Forget the $10,000 US section. Even the other seats means shelling out quite a sizable amount to watch a 4-hour-long cricket match that may not even live up to the top billing thanks to other circumstances like the pitch. So in an attempt to make this a global event and take this sport out far and wide, has the true cricket fan been left behind? All right, there is a match that is to be played too, and we need to set that on up for you. How do the sides match up to each other? So we spoke to someone who not only has been an integral part of memorable India-Pakistan face-offs over in the past, in fact garnered a whole fan base across the border, but will also be commentating on the match at Nassau in the heart of the action. Take a look at this special interview. It's the day of the India-Pakistan encounter, and who better to set this clash up for us than someone who himself has been part of so many such matches, not just in India but also in Pakistan, and also won a lot of hearts over from the rival fans as well. Joining me and across live from the heart of the whole battle at New York is Balaji. Thank you so much for giving us time, Bala. It's always a pleasure speaking to you and speaking cricket more than anything else.
Thanks, Rupha. Thanks for having me in your show, and it is fantastic. Yeah, yes, first time we are going to witness India-Pakistan in New York. It's going to be electrifying here. So it's going to be amazing start for the tournament because none other than if not Pakistan-India match, definitely it would have been a different story. But without Pakistan-India match, there is no cricket is played, especially when it comes to World Cup. So definitely the biggest brand of world cricket will be India-Pakistan match. So it is good to start that match here. So it will be interesting match, and a lot of crowd will be expected. A lot of securities will be expected here. So everybody is a little bit looking forward for the game.
You know, the first thing I have to ask you, we obviously have seen so much of cricket across the world, but what is cricket in USA like? What's it like?
See, at the moment, they are just beginners. I would not say they have already reached a mid-optimal level. They are behind a little bit because They have built a stadium within 100 days because there is no place available. At the same time, they're expecting a crowd to be like when it comes to World Cup, they will be expecting a lot of crowds. So they built a stand, temporary stands, and it is you have to give credit to the way how they have built the stadium because 35,000 capacity within 100 days, it's not easy. This was a park, Nassau County, and they used the park and built that stadium. And wicket, especially wicket, normally you get to see in cricket, normally you play in a traditional no grounds. What the tradition which never happened in New York. This is the first experience with cricket, so it is going to be new. Yes, they are learning their no the little bit from their own experience. Even groundsmen, organizers, and US Cricket Association, the host, and everybody is learning from here. It'll be an interesting start for them.
Yes, you kind of hit the nail on the head when you're speaking of certain other things that's taking precedence over this whole clash. But I have to take you back to, I think, the first day when you landed. I was able to catch some pictures and also a few lives that you managed to do. How is the security? Is that something that they're grappling with as well, Bala? The whole issue of security, it's something new for them, like you were mentioning. So is the whole event of not understanding how big a moment or following that an Indian cricket team has, so security becomes very, very critical. Has there been issues? We hear that you had to walk quite a stretch to get to the ground. What was that like?
5 miles before the security starts, Rupa, your car will be stopped asking for that permission and that kind of accreditation which we normally get as a media broadcaster.
Yeah.
So you have to show that, they have to go through that. First day was little bit a beginning for them also. That was little bit of a recce because it was a warm-up game. They are doing a little bit of recce. What kind of expectation they will be expecting when it comes to the big event like India-Pakistan, where the crowds will be coming from different part of the country. So they are doing a lot of precautionary steps, and there was Z security like bomb squad. This has never seen. The Nassau County and New York has never seen these kind of security. They are prepared for the best security in the history of New York City. So that is what exactly we are witnessing. World Cup at the same time, they have been ultra, cautious when it comes to the security side. That is little bit you're not used to it. In India, you walk through, you can show your face and walk through. Here nothing happens. You have to be waiting guard and making sure they will scan you. They don't care whether you are a cricketer or a superstar. They don't give a damn. You have to wait and follow the process here.
Right, Bala. And also the one thing that I'm waiting to ask you, and I'm sure you've been asked this and everyone has, what's it going to be like, or what has it been like batting on those drop-in pitches in Nassau? Is it as bad as everyone makes it to seem?
Yes. As a bowler, I will not complain. But for batsmen and a good cricket, if you want to see a good cricket, even T20 has characteristics, and T20's got a flavor of good ball and bat competition. So more ball dominant, I will not say. It is more pitch dominant. Pitch is little bit playing a little bit up and down, and it is not consistent. And they're also early. They've used that hybrid pitch method, that is drop-in pitch method, where you get to see in Australia and England and some of the countries where they play other sports in the particular ground. They shift the wicket to access the other sports to play during winter. So this is what they tried. They don't have a access here to prepare a wicket. They brought in a clay from Adelaide, and they just transported to Florida to New York.
Yeah.
So it also took a big kind of traveling when it comes to that raw material. So it has to adapt also. So they're trying out their best. They're putting their best foot forward, all the groundsmen and the ground staffs and the curator and everyone. But still, it is in an early stage. Nobody able to guess because they have not played any matches before this.
Yeah.
To understand how it's going to behave. So this is the first experience straight away into the World Cup.
Spoken like a true pace bowler who I'm sure would have had a lot of fun bowling on such tracks. But let's get to the action, Bala. India versus Pakistan. India coming in with a certain set of decisions, a few senior hands there. And, we saw someone like Rishabh Pant coming in at 3. Let's look at their side first. Were you happy with the kind of thinking that they have going into the playing 11?
Very happy, very happy. Probably they've, before coming to the USA, they have had a different mindset of bringing in 2 wrist spinners plus 2 orthodox spinners. when it comes to spin department. But after seeing the wicket, probably third seamer, one choice have been a little bit adjusted with getting in Siraj in place of Kuldeep Yadav. It
Right.
is a must because of the condition. So they altered that. As you progress with the tournament, as you move forward with the tournament, you may probably see a little bit of tinkering in that particular phase where depends on the wicket with where they play. At the same time, Rishabh Pant coming in the top will give you access. Otherwise, your middle order will be loaded with left-handers. So Rishabh Pant moving up is a good sign where he can play a little bit. He has given that freedom to play and express himself on the field to get that kind of aggression mode of cricket. So it is good to see India as a balanced 5-3-3. So five primary batters, three all-rounders, and three primary bowlers. So it is good to see this combination getting inside and putting the brand of cricket what we have witnessed against Ireland.
You know, if you look at the Pakistan side, of course, they will be starting their campaign as well. And it's not been a very happy last few months. There's been so much happening. How much of that affects what goes on the field? Because we had a shift in captaincy. Shaheen Shah Afridi was instated. Then Babar Azam has come back now. They've got Gary Kirsten there. That's ought to do a lot. But what will their mindset be like, having seen all the ups and downs that they've gone through over the last few months, Bala?
Definitely, Pakistan is a transition phase when it comes to other team, which they have got plenty of talent. When it comes to talent alone, they have got a lot of youngsters making the mark and getting opportunity. At the same time, the system and the management side, there have been a lot of changes. They've changed the selector, they've changed the management, they've changed the coach recently. So that gets a lot of time to adapt, to understand how the kind of playing method they're going to follow. So Gary Kristen has come in. So we all know what Gary Kristen is capable of doing with the Indian team experience. So he's a good man management guy. So of course they will be having a lot of understanding how this coach, captain, leadership group, and the players, what kind of a role. It will take some time, but at the same time, this is the best place to be in as a cricketers to put their best foot forward. World Cup is something which they normally, from childhood, they will be dreaming to play. So this is the greatest opportunity for them to begin also.
You know, if you're looking at matchups within this, you know, there are quite a few interesting matchups, owing that the pitch lends to that contest and gives it some air to breathe, oxygen to breathe. What is the one contest between bat and ball that you are really looking forward to on Sunday?
Virat Kohli with the Pakistan bowlers and
Mohammad
Rohit
Amir, why
Sharma
not?
Virat
Yeah.
Kohli opening combination against Pakistan bowlers is the one which is going to define the match. So it is more likely it is the 50%, 40% of the two greatest players in white ball and red ball cricket at the same time. Very good fast bowling unit. It's going to be an interesting battle.
If I had to ask you and put you on the spot to pick who has the edge to this face-off, given that the pitch probably has the biggest edge, who has the edge in this one, and because of what, whom? What would your answer be?
India, of course, because of the selection, is fearless selection they made. They didn't compromise on their kind of mindset. They wanted to go into this World Cup.
Yeah.
Their mindset is very clear. They don't want to take a conservative option of getting in Yashasvi Jaiswal and putting number 3 in Virat Kohli. That would have been a more conservative. But I like the way they started the campaign with the aggressive mindset, having 3 all-rounders, batting till 8, 6 bowling option, 5 top order batsmen, and Virat and Rohit taking that chunk in the front. So it is going to be that kind of a formula. I like that. So that is why I'm, with the cricketing perspective, I'm shifting towards India. As far as heart and mind, it is always going to be India because having played plenty of cricket against Pakistan, it is going to be emotional handling. This team is capable of handling emotions. So that is one way I look at it. A little bit edge for India. Toss is going to be very crucial. Yes, wicket is playing a little bit of here and there, but it is going to be a battle to watch out. If toss goes in the favor of little bit, it is going to be a battle to witness for.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Bala. I think that was really nice. It was nice for you to give us some time as well. Thanks for speaking to Firstpost here. Always a pleasure, as you know. And enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Enjoy the game, of course.
Yeah, looking forward. 9th. Stay tuned.
Right, snipers in attendance, a sea of armed cops, many dressed in civil uniforms. Tight security and a cloud of nerves. Doesn't sound like a sight you'd see at a cricket match now, does it? Nassau Cricket Ground may not be a battlefield, but it has all the trappings of a battle. All right, Nassau Cricket Ground on Sunday will transform to Fort Nassau. For cricket's biggest rivalry, India versus Pakistan will take centre stage at the T20 World Cup. And while fans may treat this as an actual encounter, there is enough concern outside the cricket field of this turning into one literally too. Now, I do not want to sound morbid, but security threat looms large over this marquee clash. New York is gearing up for a sporting spectacle like none other and has tightened its security to the hilt. Terrorist group ISIS has released a video threatening a lone wolf attack. Is the country ready for a match of this magnitude? How have they prepared for the security concerns? Here's a report.
India versus Pakistan. The geopolitical tensions have made it difficult for the world to witness this epic clash often. So anytime the two sides come face to face, only at international tournaments, the world watches. Because the nerves, the excitement, the tension, all of it is sky high. This World Cup will see another dimension to the already complex face-off: terror threats. In the United States, a terror threat cannot be taken too lightly. It's not like the US has not hosted mega events in the past, but cricket is a different territory altogether. Are they ready for it? Last week, we saw Indian star Virat Kohli swamped by bodyguards. Rohit Sharma too is surrounded by top security, so the threat is real. It all started with a video of ISIS threatening a lone wolf attack on the match.
We've been gearing up for that match because we know it's the biggest match in the world, and we'll have extra security that day. We have our Nassau County Police Department, who handles major events all the time. They do a great job. We have our New York State Police. We have our State Park Police, NYPD, FBI, Suffolk County Police, Port Authority Police, MTA Police, Fire Marshal, volunteer firefighters. We're going to be ready. Customs and Border Patrol is here today. We're going to be ready for anything that might occur, and we're pretty confident it won't happen, but if it does, we're ready.
Bruce Blakeman, the New York executive, has even assured the fans that the security is tight and there will be no lapses. He says he himself will attend the game with his family. Why would he if he was not confident of the security plans in place? Reports suggest the New York police will deploy snipers to patrol during the match. And after the incident involving a fan breaching security to accost India skipper Rohit Sharma, the security around the ropes has been amped up. And that's not all. Around-the-clock security detail is with the cricket squads. And there's more. SWAT teams and police officers in civil uniform as well will be present. So we have covered the field of play, the boundary ropes, the cricket ground and its facilities and the team hotels. Both teams are staying pretty adjacent to each other. Onto the roads next to the stadium. They too will be closed to avoid any untoward vehicles or persons trying to enter. And what about the security movements during the match? That is highly important too. High-tech surveillance equipment will be used to monitor crowd movements. That means CCTV cameras strategically positioned throughout the stadium and the surrounding areas to monitor any odd activity. The International Cricket Council, or the ICC too, is monitoring all of this and assuring that nothing unfortunate happens.
The safety and security of everyone at the event is our number one priority. And we have a comprehensive and robust security plan in place. We work closely with authorities in our host countries and continually monitor and evaluate the global landscape to ensure appropriate plans are in place to mitigate any risks identified to our event.
While the security plans seem thorough and exhaustive, it will prove to be a little inconvenient too. With intense security checks, broadcasters and commentators will have to walk a fair bit. This has resulted in disrupting the fan movement too. They had to park their vehicles at a distance for the India vs Ireland game earlier. Not the ideal and comfortable match viewing experience, but that's how it is. Just so the biggest showdown happens without any hiccups. The stage is set then for the mega event. The players, the officials, the fans, the broadcasters, the spectators world over, and of course, the police personnel.
Time for last serve. Now we've seen the intense side to an India-Pakistan rivalry. There's another side too. Like Shaheen Shah Afridi gifting Jasprit Bumrah on the occasion of him becoming a father. It happened during the Asia Cup. And seems like he's extending that warmth even to the Indian cricket fans in the US. Take a look. That wraps it up here on this very special edition of Firstpost. Thanks for joining in. Do, of course, stay on for all the latest updates as the day goes. It's indeed a special Sunday.
Hello and welcome to